I told you, I'm going to look. So I went out with a guy that collects the dead people. Think about that. Think about that. That's what I've been thinking about. Calcutta, Sao Paulo.
Yeah.
You know, this is the most essential worker.
Yeah.
You can't have people rotting in the streets.
Kind of a thankless job, too.
Holy smokes. So I went and actually did it with him. Now, last week I said my person of the year, if I was editor of Time magazine, I'm not, because it's kind of an awful product. That's why it's dying. That I would pick essential workers. On cue, Time magazine yesterday announces their people of the year.
Yeah.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. What did you do this year?
Wow.
They
won an election because of their opponent.
Let them do something before you do. Come on.
Yeah.
So I went out with my little recorder and my pair of rubber gloves and an N95, and I spent the evening with the corpse collector. So look, this is an audio piece. This is diabolical NPR. This is This American Life, our style. I know you're watching on Facebook, so we have a few pictures. But close your eyes and listen. Because remember, above all else, this is a podcast. This is for people padding around their home. This is for Sunday morning. This is for shoveling your walk. But stay with us and just listen to it. And know why we're the most listened to hour in news in Michigan.
Name's Matt. We're going picking up a dead body.
Use the left 2 lanes to take
Novi.
exit 18C, then merge onto I-6.
That's where we're going. COVID. Since March and April, I've had the mindset that everybody I come in contact with has got COVID. And then from our aspect,
Matt Ziazio is on call from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 7 o'clock in the morning, cruising the streets of Metro Detroit in his black Ford van, waiting for a call from the police or a hospital or a nursing home to come collect the dead. He makes $30 a body, $30 the hard way.
oh, the official job, we'd be a funeral director's assistant. Nicknames go with the body snatcher, dead body hauler, you name it, we'll do it.
Bagman?
Madman, dead man, watch out, here comes the guy who's picking up the dead bodies, watch out. Oh man, you got a dead body, I'm scared of you now. That's alright, I'm scared of you too.
A dead man is much heavier than he first appears. And in those cases where the bodies have been infected by COVID, an incalculable burden is added on. You just a bag man?
Yes sir, unfortunately. But we don't like using body bags.
No?
No.
What do you use, a stretcher?
We got a stretcher and a sheet, and then seeing that it is a COVID body, we do have a plastic liner that we kind of conceal the whole body into. So that way, if it's out there, we're not spreading it around too much, but once we get to the funeral home, it's disinfect everything we've touched.
What about yourself?
I got the hand sanitizer here. We got other sanitizer. Disinfect my van every day, a couple times a day. Anything I touch gets wiped down with a sanitary cloth, and we go from there.
All through this pandemic, from Calcutta to Sao Paulo to Detroit, you may have wondered, who collects the dead? They must certainly be the most essential workers of all, or crazy. Doesn't it worry you? I mean, you're not the thinnest guy in the world.
Right, not to me. I gotta have a lot of faith going with me. So if I'm at that point, if the man upstairs wants to take me, he's taking me. It's the way I look at life. So I can't let it get to me. I'd lose my mind or wouldn't have a job if I let it get to me. Is it in the back of my mind? Absolutely.
How many bodies have you picked up in the last 9 months due to COVID?
I can't even count the number. Probably over 500 or 600 myself. Or in the 2 months, March and April, when it was at its peak or the worst, we were going 18-hour days. I'd get a call at 4 in the morning. I wouldn't get home till 1 in the morning. It was nonstop.
We arrive in the black van to a drab condominium. Ziadzio works in silence. It's a gruesome scene. An old man dead near the door, naked except for the socks, mouth and eyes glued open. When lifted, a gurgling noise wafts from the corpse.
All right, thank you.
Inside the van, there is no wall between the cab and the cargo area, no plexiglass sheet. The van fits 2 in the front and 2 dead in the back. Aren't you worried breathing vapors off of this corpse?
Nope. Personally, I'm not.
Can it be contracted off of a corpse?
If you get too close and swallow any of the fluids, but
I noticed when you moved him, he made a sound, like the gases came out of him.
right.
So that could be pushing particles your way.
When I had the mask on when they're moving them, when we had them, you always cover the face. Once you cover the face, just like wearing a mask, you know, he's not projecting out the COVID.
So you cover his face.
You cover the decedent's face.
And life goes on in the suburbs.
And life goes on. Nobody knows no difference now. Nursing home coming up on the right-hand side. March and April, almost cleared them out. Picked up so many bodies out of there. Every day we were going there for 1 or 2. Sad to see. Doing this a long time, you see where, like the trends. You know where you're gonna get a call, you know you're gonna be back there. Even walking down the hallways, you have the smell of death in the air that you can, you know, you're gonna be coming soon. And hey, people don't even need to tell me route numbers anymore. I can usually guess.
Is that right?
It's crazy.
After dropping the body at the funeral home, Ziadzio drives to the crematorium, a mammoth processing plant in the middle of Livonia. He wants me to see. We're said to be in the midst of a second COVID wave. Crematory workers say there's no comparison to the first.
No. What are you talking about? We're not seeing the numbers that we did in April. Oh, not in April?
Yeah, they're seeing some,
No. Has it gone up a little bit? Yeah, we're starting to see it more now than we did 2 months ago. I mean, for 2 or 3 months in the summertime, we might have had 4 or 5 total COVID. So yeah, it is coming. But once again, they're all older people that are passing away that are, you see it, 80, 85 years old. They get COVID.
Where are we going?
Storage. These are all bodies ready for cremation.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
No
10,
snow cold for
11. I missed these. 12, 13, 14, 15. One just came in 16.
Then they got more in this room over here.
Jeremy, a cremation worker, approaches. Are these COVID mostly? Are these mostly COVID?
Not
Do you
at the
even know?
moment. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. We've been getting a lot of COVID question mark stuff. Like, is it COVID? Is it not? Sometimes I just assume they all are. I mean, that's just.
As you're walking around, no gloves, no mask.
You know what? I took a drink of it back in March, April. Like, was pulling one off the shelf, and I took it full right in the face, unembalmed body, COVID body, and haven't tested positive yet. So I don't know.
So he shows me, wall to wall, stacked 4 high, lined up outside the cargo bay doors. It's not like that today, but still, it's busy. Jeremy turns to me and asks, Can you tell them about us? Can you tell the public we're working hard, even if they don't know or don't want to know that we exist?
I mean, I literally got like PTSD from this shit, to be honest. I mean, I put up with it to an extent, but once you see so much of it, it's like, wow.
The day has gone dark now. It's cold outside. Diazio's phone pings. A nursing home run. He doesn't need GPS to find it.
So it's just the same funeral. I mean, it's just the same nursing home. It's just we're calling one side COVID.
Yep.
I don't know how they separate them.
They don't. That's what I said. That side, nobody that's gotten tested or whatever, they're all negative. They'll put all the positives in one room. They'll pack up all their little shit and move them to an empty room on the COVID side.
So it's still an open building.
Still open. They're still using the same circulatory air, everything in there. The whole HVAC system's coming from one place.
Is there a barrier?
No.
Huh?
No.
No barrier?
No. That's the shit you see there.
I thought the state required them to fix that.
They don't do none of that shit.
That's just for us in the public to see.
Yeah.
Wow. You got a pair of rubber gloves for me?
Oh, yeah. Once we, like I said, we'll have a thing.
Wow. I notice I've been saying that a lot tonight. Wow. Ask me anything about COVID data, COVID graphs, governmental double talk, and I can quote it. The government claims we put protocols in place to secure the nursing homes from the virus. This place is nicer than most, but still, the entrance is the same for everybody. One side serves as a COVID ward, the other side for the uninfected. Nothing divides the two that I can see. Looking down at the old body now, the only word that comes to me is, wow. Just wow. God damn. Wow.
Sitting on the table
Where?
by the phone?
This? No.
No. Okay.
Diazio wraps the old man in his bed sheet, and then he and I lift him onto the gurney and wrap him in plastic, and then a blanket, and finally we strap him in. We leave through the fire door, and I can't help but admire the dedication of the nursing staff.
Merry Christmas.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you. He was heavier than he looked.
Oh, they always are. Always.
88 years old.
We take his body to a funeral home in a small town a few miles away. The back roads are empty and covered in a thin blanket of fog.
So you're driving around with a COVID corpse,
Yep.
and you're not wearing any mask or anything?
No, sir.
What's the matter with you?
You know what? It's at the point.
Arriving at the funeral home now, our corpse collector lets himself in the back door by way of a key left under a mat. He uplifts the body onto the embalming table, then adjusts it to a dignified repose, head propped up, arms across the chest. Diazio covers him and then shows himself out.
And the key back under the mat. At the end of the day. And now you smoke a cigar.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Hide the stink and celebrate life. Hopefully they got it better on the afterlife than they did on this life.
You dropped that on the ground.
Yeah, I landed over here.
In a COVID van. You gonna smoke that?
No, I just put it there. I'll cut a new one.
You're gonna smoke that.
No, sir.
Yes, you are.
No, sir.
You just put it in the ashtray.
That's why I don't forget it, because I don't want it to get wet and end up everywhere.
Yeah, but then you're gonna put your other cigar in there.
I gotta throw it out the window.
You were just walking all over a nursing home with a COVID guy in there.
Yeah. I ain't gonna smoke it.
Well, now it touched the ground, and now you just put it in the ashtray, and it.
We're a bunch of sick fucks.
$30 the hard way, and a lot of hard miles left on that night. Hey, respect, brother, for letting me into your life. It's really eye-opening. And you are one of my people of the year.